Listen, I never got the memo that these creepy clowns was a thing. And I mean it. Like, nobody in my hood told me that people were dressing up like creepy clowns. So you can imagine my surprise in the lower Ninth Ward of New Orleans when I come outside in the middle of the night in the dark and it's a dude standing on a corner dressed up like a clown with a red balloon. And when I say you can imagine my surprise, I truly mean that I was surprised, dumbfounded, befuddled, and caught aback by the whole entire situation. Now, let me say this to you. In my mind, to come to the hood dressed up like a clown holding a red balloon means you want a death wish. So when I come out of my front door and I see this, the first thing I do is hook a left, go 2 houses down to go see some of my partners who I know are sitting on the porch. Now, who I know are sitting on the front porch. Now, I know these nicknames are going to sound funny to you, but these are truly their nicknames, Skittles and Twix. We've been calling them Skittles and Twix since we were little kids because their favorite candy was Skittles and Twix. Now, Skittles. Now, with that being said, I want you to understand something. Skittles is 6'5", 245 pounds. And Twix is 6 foot and a solid 180 pounds all muscle. So although their names are sweet, these men are not sweet whatsoever. So like I was saying, I hook a left, head up the block. I know they're always outside. And I tell them, I say, hey, man, you got to come see this foolishness going down out here in these streets, bro. They got somebody dressed up as a clown on a corner. Now, I don't know if you ever been to the Ninth Ward of New Orleans. If you've been in New Orleans at all, you probably went to the French Quarters or downtown or something like that. But here in New Orleans, we have front porches. And when you're sitting on your front porch, in order to see up the street, sometimes you got to lean forward or come to the edge of the porch. So they come over to the edge of the porch, lean forward and look down the street, and they can see this clown dressed up on a corner. So now the three of us venture down to that corner and confront what we thought at that time was a person dressed up like a clown. Now listen, I'm not sure how clowns are perceived in your mind, but in my mind, if you dressed up like a clown, you here to act a damn fool. So the first question out of my mouth is, say, bruh, why is you out here in these streets dressed up like a damn clown? What you out here doing? And just so you understand what we were looking at, this guy wasn't intimidating or imposing in any way, shape, or form. He had to be about 5'7", 5'8", 180 pounds soaking wet. He wasn't a big person. He had white face paint on, red lips, big bubbly red nose, and red around his eyes. Again, we start to interrogate him, trying to figure out what the hell he's doing in our neighborhood and what's the purpose of him being there. But he says nothing. And it goes a lot further than him not just doing anything. His eyes aren't moving. He's just staring straight ahead. It was then and only then that I decided to look into his eyes. I mean, really bend my head down and look deep into his eyes. And from the moment I did that, the shit freaked me completely out because I sarcastically turned my head to the side to look into his eyes, and one of his eyes blinks sideways. Now, to be clear with you, we as human beings, our eyelids go up and down, up and down. It had, and I'm saying it had human eyelids, but then on the inside of its eye, it blinks horizontally, left to right. Talk about some of the freakiest shit I've ever seen. Scared the living hell out of me. So much so that I jumped 3 steps back and I'm like, whoa, what kind of bullshit is going on out here? Now understand, I'm the only one who's seeing this. Twix and Skittles don't see it. And so they start to press the little clown, telling them, listen, man, you need to get up off our block, get up out our neighborhood. We got kids around here. We don't have time for that. And they go to put their hands on. I'm saying, listen, stop, leave this thing alone. We need to go about our business. And they looking at me like I'm crazy and I'm afraid, but they don't understand what I just saw in these eyes. So I said, listen, bro, leave him alone. Let him go about his own damn business. We need to go on about our business. Nope. They keep pressing him. Pause right here and let me say this, right? Everybody's seen a Mike Tyson fight. And everybody's seen how Mike Tyson throws those lunging hook punches. Well, Skittles throws one of those lunging hook punches directly at this thing. And I'm calling it a thing because in my mind at that point in time, that ain't no human. I'm talking about lands flush on the cheekbone, knocks it flat down on its back, and the two of them start to celebrate. And that son of a bitch gets right back up. And I need you to understand what I'm saying to you right now. From a completely defenseless position, it eats that punch. 100% of the force, lands on its back, and then gets right back up. I'm not talking about rise up like Dracula. I mean, it just gets up from the ground. And so now the two of them starts to lay a hell of a beat down on this thing. And that's when we hear this laughter. Listen, I ain't never seen a human being get their ass whooped and laugh about it. And when you find yourself in a situation where you watching two dudes who you grew up with, who had knocked out plenty of people throughout your whole life, beating on a clown, and the clown is laughing, it's not bleeding, nothing's going on, man, I ain't gonna lie to you, I freak out, I draw my pistol, and pow, shoot it dead in the leg. And this right here is where shit fucked me up completely and totally for the rest of my entire life. I shot this thing in the leg, and didn't no blood come out. Not an ounce of blood splatter anywhere. Now listen, I know the average person listening to this story ain't never shot, stabbed, or beat nobody. And that's fine. So you can't really 100% relate to this, but you can relate to a movie. You know, in every movie you ever seen, when somebody got shot, blood squirts somewhere. Imagine in your mind for a second, I shoot, pow, bang, boom. You see the bullet hole, but there's no blood. When we all come to the realization that there's no blood, we all take off running. And I'm telling you, I'm a grown-ass man. I run back to my house inside and lock the doors because that shit right there didn't make any sense. Now watch this, watch this, watch this. We had one nosy neighbor named Miss Georgia. Anytime Miss Georgia gets a gunshot, she calls the police. 10 minutes later, the police are there, and he's still standing on a corner. And so the police, New Orleans Police Department, approaches him, and they're trying to talk to him. Mind you, there is a hole in his leg as they are talking to him. Skittles comes outside and walks up to the police and says, yo, this dude right here been standing on the corner for an hour. We laid a beat down on him, and it didn't work, man. I think y'all need to be careful. He's 15, 20 feet away from the cops. And so the cops go to arrest him, put him in handcuffs. We watch as the police drive off with him in the back of the police car. Understand, they put the handcuffs on him behind his back. And as he's driving away and we're looking at him, he raises his hands up in the air and he's no longer handcuffed at all. And then he points to Skittles. Now, I know this shit gonna sound crazy, but I'm gonna keep it 100% real with you. I knew at that point in time that was a bad sign. 3 months later, Skittles dies in a car accident. And it ain't no regular car accident. My man Skittles gets rolled over by an 18-wheeler. His whole vehicle ran over by an 18-wheeler. Smashed it like a freaking pancake, bruh. I ain't know that this creepy clown stuff was this real out here in these streets. In my mind, it was some white boy shit, you know, but this shit here is real, man.